Okay, happy Friday, everybody. Where are we? So it's a lovely day in this week of winter, summer, spring, and autumn in all one week. It's normally raining when I go outside, so it stops when I come back in. So hopefully, when I nip out later, it'll start raining again. So that's the ironies of life. So, what I want to talk about today is anger, because there is a lot of anger about at the moment, more than usual, as is expected when things happen, and whether or not this is actually a good thing. And I want to talk about that because we all get angry. I mean, I regularly get angry on a day-to-day basis because things happen that annoy us. And pretending that things don't annoy us is not productive because things do. Things happen externally that will agitate us, will annoy us. And we've got a responsibility in terms of how we cope with that, how we handle that anger and how we handle what we do with the information we get given. Because we can't always control what happens, as we've seen this week. You know, stuff's going to happen sometimes that sucks. Stuff's going to happen this time. You're going to get, people are going to say stuff and do stuff, potentially, that's going to annoy you. So how do you deal with that? Well, firstly, I think the thing is, anger, as we've seen probably this week, it comes into two sides. There is anger for anger's sake, and there is anger as the fuel for change. Now, if I look at, particularly with what I do, for example, weight loss, when I lost weight, back when I started losing weight back in 2005, one thing that fueled me was anger. I was angry with myself for the state I'd got myself into. So I used that anger with myself and anger with other things, situation, as the fuel for change. I used it to change. And I think in that respect, actually, as you know, it can be quite a positive thing. It can be quite constructive because going through life pretending that you're all zen and you're all calm and everything's all wonderful isn't always the best way, because when life comes along and smacks you in the face, you won't know how to deal with it. So sometimes you are going to get angry, and sometimes you've got to learn how to deal with that and use it in a constructive sense. So, for example, getting angry for angry's sake and just sprouting anger, whether it be online, whether it be whether it be in person, all these sort of things, just for the sake of it, is going to make you feel bad. And if you feel bad all the time, that's not a good thing. So it's how do I channel this and how do I use it in a constructive sense? So for me, exercise is a great one. And also, making a change in your life. So when people are talking, particularly this week, about what's happened, for example, this week, it's perfectly normal to be angry about that sort of thing, but use it to be a better human being. Use it to make sure that you don't ever harm anybody intentionally. Do you know what I mean? Use it as the power for change. Don't just start spitting poison around and being angry all the time and not using it for something. So there's two dangers here, which I'm going to cover off. The first danger is pretending that you're never going to get angry again and everything's all wonderful. It's not sometimes. As we said yesterday, life sucks. Second side to the coin is if you're going to get angry or something's going to anger you, use that for a positive change. Use that to make a change to yourself and the world. So you're actually using it constructively. Because just adding to outrage and anger arguably is quite pointless, because all it's going to do is create more of it. So all we can do as individuals is look after ourselves individually and take action and responsibility for us and what we do. So if you are angry, use it as positive change. Use it to drive you forward. Use it to get pissed off with yourself so you take some action. Yeah, that's what I did when I lost weight. It's what I did when I left my job and started my business. Everything that's ever done my head in, I've always tried to use it to drive me forward, rather than just spitting feathers, getting angry, and just sprouting off about things that are just going to waste my energy, really, because you've got to protect that energy. You've got to protect your own energy. So it's perfectly acceptable to be angry, but how you use it is the most important thing. So, if you want my advice as somebody that doesn't really, I get ranty sometimes and a little bit pissed at things, as we do as human beings, and I don't pretend things don't bother me. What I do though is I take them and use them in a positive sense. So, that's really the quick message today. It's not complicated, and it's only my opinion, is anger can be a good thing if it's used as the fuel for change. If it's not, and you're just adding to the problems by just getting angrier and angrier and angrier and not actually dealing with things, that's going to build up inside you, and that could explode in different ways. and could really cause you problems. So yeah, anger can be a gift if used right. And remember, use this stuff for positive change. And all I would say is this: if you want to change the world, just be a good human being. Yeah, because that's all you can do. Just be a good human being. Be compassionate to your fellow man. Work hard, and don't just spout anger and out there and fuel the fire. Start trying to put the fires out by being, a good human being, a bit kind, and a bit considerate to your fellow man. Happy Friday. Oops.